Hello, everyone. My name is Patricia Wagner, founder of the Living in Heart Center Gratitude Facebook group, and today is member introductions with a dear friend, Soleira Green. Soleira, welcome.
Thank you.
Before I turn things over to Soleira to explain her fascinating life and the work that she does in the world, I want to read you a little bit about her. Soleira Green is a future innovator, reality creator, visionary coach, and author of 21 books. One of her most recent books is titled Redesigning the Future of Global Civilization, which looks at the future from the invisible powers of emotion, energy, genius, connection, consciousness, and the embodiment of our greater and source beings. Her website is soleragreen.com, and Solera is spelled Soleira, Green, Green.com, soleragreen.com. Solera, it is a privilege to have you here. We go way back, don't we?
We just discovered that. Both we were both born in the same year,
Yes.
and we discovered we'd known each other since the 2000s. So
Since
there you
early
go.
2000s when you were
Yeah,
doing conference calls from England, because she lives in
amazing.
England, and just yeah, there's definitely a connection. We might be on different paths heading to the same place.
That's
And
right. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So I am fascinated by, I don't have I have your newest book, which is an autobiography, Becoming Legendary, but I don't have this book that you mentioned, Redesigning the Future of Global Civilization. I
Yeah.
would love for you to share more about what you are saying here, that
Okay.
the future from emotion, energy, genius, connection, consciousness, and the embodiment of our greater self. So
Yes.
I'm going to turn it over to you and I'm going to turn my video off. Okay.
Okay. So, I've been at this. I wasn't born this way. Some people like yourself, Patricia, born this way. I wasn't born this way. I started out very ordinary in life, small town Canadian girl kind of thing, and had the awakenings that people had through, their lives. And then I came to England in 1996 and had a mega energetic epiphany on the top of the Glastonbury tour on the solstice, the summer solstice, 1996. And that completely changed my life. And I began on a new path, really. And I would say it's interesting, when you read the introduction about me being a future innovator and reality creator, that's evolved over the last 30 years. Because I just know that I and a lot of others, yourself included, Patricia, and probably anybody who's watching this, we're here to remake the world into something even more wondrous than it already is. And to do that in incredible, unprecedented ways. In fact, I thought the other day we should be called the unpredictables because we're so unpredictable in terms of how we come at this thing. So yes, we're visionaries, but we're not just visionaries creating a project to do a particular vision or run a particular business. It's got a greater, wider scope than that. We tend to be universal citizens, global citizens, a sense of awareness of the greater mysteries of life, the greater forces of life, the intelligence of the universe, the capacities for what I would call modern day alchemy, which is to transform and transcend potential and possibilities into reality. So for me, instead of going there, it's all about coming here and living in a kind of brilliant, super connected, brand new versions of intelligence in life, in presence, with an expansive ability to elevate the vibrational frequency of us, the consciousness of the world, the field of us, and the sourceness of us. I use the term source, but anybody who's listening could replace that with whatever their term is, God, creator, source, universe, divine, infinite. There's so many wonderful terms that people could use for that greater intelligence, force, miracles, miracleness of life. So, and I can get that people would say, well, how do you do all that in the face of things that are going on in the world today? Is that a lot of people would call me optimistic, but I'm not optimistic. That's not, I'm a creator. And I don't do this by myself. I'm not a future innovator alone by myself. I'm a future innovator with others like us who want to create a brilliant world together, who want to make us go back to reconnection with nature and animals and life and oceans and to explore new powers and abilities to enhance and enrich our intelligence with universal intelligence, with nature's intelligence, with the earth's intelligence, etc., and the collective intelligence of all life. So when I wrote the book, Redesigning the Future of Global Civilization, I wrote it from a different place. So I wouldn't necessarily call myself a futurist because I've been on some of the futurist um, events online, and they tend to look at the past and then project into the future and make predictions for the future. That's not what I do. I look at new possibilities, that which has been dreamed up by the universe, source, creator, whatever, and call those possibilities along with others who love doing that into consciousness and then into living reality. So I call the group that I work with the murmuration of maestros. So I think that's a great term because we are a murmuration. It's each one is unique. Each one has their own orientation to mastery and power. And when we come together, we have no set agenda. We don't say, oh, let's solve this problem in the world or let's solve that. No, we come in and say, well, what wants to happen through us now? And then we bring that through as possibility and potential. And then we start to talk about it. And we realize the synergy in what we're experiencing, what we're creating together. Then we start to give that language and etc. And then we create a breakthrough. So the book, Redesigning the Future of Globalist Civilization, looks at the invisible powers of energy. Is some people might say it's not visible, but a lot of people would say it is. Like depends on your perspective, I suppose. Consciousness, um, emotion, um, just that whole piece. So we've been creating breakthroughs in all those areas. So we've taken from emotional reaction, we first went to emotion as potential, pointing direction for what's next, into emotional center as an alchemical power pulse to actualize realities and possibilities into the world. And then we learn to be more expansive. And I think that would be true of many, many people, probably many who are listening. We're no longer just an isolated individual field of a person who's walking around trying to help do better things in the world. We're expansive, ultra connected fields that are elevating life, lifting up people, celebrating the genius, the brilliance, the magnificence, the uniqueness of everyone and what they bring. That includes other life forms on the planet and the earth itself and nature and oceans and forests and mycelium networks and all of that. And so we've been creating breakthroughs over the last, 20, 25 years at least, to elevate the world into a new horizon. So I have been heard to say recently that while a lot of people are concerned for the future, no, I absolutely know it's going to be brilliant because we, and I'm talking about a big we, are here as innovators, as visionaries, as creators, as maestros and masters of our own, whatever our own unique orientation is, as people with a true, brilliant desire to see the world thrive, everyone, everywhere, to see us connected, to see us drop all the boundaries and interweave ourselves in celebration with one another. So I think that's probably a good overview so far. So Patricia, do you want to, from everything I've said, do you want to ask anything about that or?
Oh, I love what you said. It just, I just feel so aligned with everything you said. I just use different language
Yeah,
and have had different experiences, of course. But
yeah,
oh my goodness. Soleira was on our most recent Co-Creating Heaven on Earth event, and I
yeah.
have queued up a little bit of what she said because I thought it was so powerful, and I want everybody to hear it in case you haven't watched that video. So let me
Okay.
do a screen share and uh, hopefully it'll come through like it's supposed to. Okay, so can you see that screen, Solara?
Yep.
All right, so let me start it now. Let me know if you can't hear it.
I would say I had to choose from a whole potpourri of things that I could talk about, but I think for me, one of the most useful for me in my own life is that no matter what happens to me, I always look first and foremost at what's the greater purpose this is pointing me towards. Doesn't matter what it is, whether it's something in the world, whether it's something in my life, whether it's friends or I'm looking for other people. If I look for what the greater purpose is pointing me towards,
Yeah.
everything kind of aligns in me and starts to go not just right, but great. Like it starts to, it's hard to describe that when something aligns within you, it's like it's not just me looking for something, it's me having a relationship with something greater, consciousness, source, life, the universe, whatever
Yeah.
we want to call that.
Yeah.
And as soon as I get in alignment with that and myself, then things go right. If right's the right word, go brilliantly. Like,
Okay, I'm going to stop it there. But I thought that was brilliant. I thought that sharing was brilliant. And there's more that you could watch on the original video, everyone who's
yeah.
watching this.
Can
It
I just
was,
talk about two things from that? So one of them is, so just in case it didn't come through. So it's talking about always oriented to greater purpose, no matter what happens, whether that's in the world or in your life or to someone else. Because I think the universe is always working on our side. It's always in our favor. It's always pointing us towards the next, what we're here to create and accomplish, what our greater purpose is, what miracles are waiting to happen for us. And the minute you get that, things go right. So that's one of the things I was saying. The other thing was about being in relationship. And I wrote a post yesterday on Facebook on my timeline called Relational Alchemy. And it's funny because I didn't know what I was going to write when I started to write it. And all of a sudden I was talking about when you get into a kind of awe-generating relationship with someone or something or the universe or, the earth, nature, whatever. this alchemy happens, this transformation, transcendence, this powerful surge comes into place. And it's that that has fascinated me, I think, for the last 30 years of my life, is that to get into those moments. And one of the things I'm going to do an open free call on it later this month, probably somewhere in the middle of the month, on spontaneous mastery, because
Please post that in our Living in Hearts and a Gratitude
I
private group.
will. Yeah, I
Okay.
will.
Yeah.
Because what happens with spontaneous mastery, you have to let go of everything you've learned, everything you think you know, any agenda you want to have, and you come into the moment with this. And I think awe and wonder is a great way to come into it, right? Even joy. Joy, I called myself a euphorian recently. Now, I don't walk around in euphoria all the time. It's not like that, but there's a kind of there's a burst of energetic alivenment that happens when you get into awe, wonder, and joy. And that burst remakes reality. And so even I trained coaches for years and I was training them to get into that space with someone. So a lot of the coach training says meet the clients where they're at. And I'm like, no, 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 no. No, you gotta meet them where they're more magnificent than they even think they are, you
Yes,
know?
I
And
totally agree. Yes.
yeah, and then you generate in yourself this awe and wonder at their unique magnificence, and boom, something happens. And that's
Absolutely.
spontaneous mastery because you
Yes.
haven't planned it, you don't know what it is, you don't have an agenda for it. You're just in the space of awe, wonder, and joy with them. And and you can do that with the world. So people
That's
who are in fear or concerned about the future or the state of the world or angry about it, I do think those things have purpose and I'm glad they care. But I also think that where we create from is from these emotive alchemical surges that just remake everything, remake the field of us, the sourceness of us, the connectedness of us, the super consciousness of us. It's all of, and you, I think we can call the whole world up into it now through those emotive alchemical surges. That's the first time I've ever said that.
well, I
Sometimes,
know it. I know it's true. I've
yeah,
seen it happen over and over again in my energy healing sessions, and
yeah,
I've seen it take place by keeping, first of all, having a belief and knowing
yeah,
that that you know, you I call it the omnipresence of source, but you could call it an energy field is all divine, and
yeah,
it's all available to us at all time, and in that is the divine perfection
yeah,
inherent in those infinite possibilities. And so
yes,
in my energy healings, I would establish that divine
yeah,
connection in
yes,
that field, and then with the client, knowing that that divine perfection lies within them. And
yes,
if I am sustaining that for a period of time in that source and client, miraculous things occur. Their
they
healing
do.
takes place.
Yeah,
And I know that we can transpose that in your murmuration, like the
yes,
fish and the birds when they're all doing like this
yeah,
symphonic dance. We
yeah,
can do that same principle, apply that in
yeah,
co-creating heaven on earth.
absolutely.
And
Yes.
that's what your work is all about. That's what
Yeah,
my work is all about.
yeah.
That's what a number of people's work is all about.
There's lots of people in the world that are
Yes,
about this. And I
yes.
would encourage everybody to be about whatever it is that's theirs to do around that. Like a lot of people would hold back. And I said to somebody the other day that I throw spaghetti at the wall. You know that phrase where you try everything. You just I get a new idea, I just give it a go. Oh, it didn't work. Okay, on to the, I'll try it again. And I said the other day, a lot of people would try things and then step back and try and go a little bit more toned down or basic. Me, I get wilder. I just go further out and get wilder and bolder and, with what I'm up to, which is the opposite of what, all the marketing and sales and all of that kind of stuff would tell you to do. But I kind of, don't want to say I don't care about that, but what matters to me is that the world, we get there together. That's what matters. And when you're aligned with that, I think everything works in your favor.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
Soler, I am so glad that you are in our world and
And I'm glad
are
you're
able
in
to
ours.
articulate this in such a way through your books, through your classes, through your teachings. If someone wants to get uh, connect with you, how might they go about that? And just go to your
Well,
website
the best way is on Facebook.
on Facebook.
I'm very active on Facebook. I mean, I'm li literally sitting on the computer most of the day. So, and I love posting and stuff. I also have a Substack account, a Patreon account. I'm on
Oh,
TikTok, but I would say Facebook is probably the best bet, or check out my website, soleragreen.com. Um, I make my own websites,
do
and I
you?
have multiple ones now.
It's just part of your creative process. You're a genius, creative genius.
I
And I
love
know
making
it's
up new stuff.
completely divinely inspired.
Yeah, it's
So,
fun. I love being that kind of, I love writing. I've just done the 21st book, as you just said, and I got bored this week, so I started my 22nd, which is called Dust Amongst the Stars. So there you go.
well, I do want to get the book you mentioned, the redesigning the future of global civilization, because to
Yeah.
me that means co-creating heaven on earth, and that's
Yes.
what you're
Yep.
talking about in that
Yeah.
book. So I want to
Well, it's
read
on
that.
Amazon. It's easy to get on Amazon. So yeah, there you go.
And I want to invite you back to our co-creating heaven on earth segments so that you can share more
Oh,
of
that would be great. I'd
what you
love
have
to.
discovered as
Yeah.
direct experience in
Yeah.
the co-creation of heaven on earth.
Fantastic.
I
Yeah.
think you're a master teacher, and I just am so enamored that we're walking
Ditto.
this path together. Yeah. Different paths, but same goal. Same goal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Solara, thank you so much. Is there anything that you'd like to close with? Any insight or some?
I think just to say to people, don't hold back and don't let the your past or things in the world dampen anything in you. Everyone has this incredibly unique genius and beautiful superpowers and visions inside them, and just don't hold back. It's really fun to live like this. And that's what creates the reality, I think, of the world we want to live in. So I don't think it's a matter of trying to fix anything. It's living into it ourselves. And the more of us that do, the more that becomes the total reality. So yeah,
Thank you. I think Buckminster Fuller would agree with you. I think he said something to that effect, not quite as explicit and energetic, but he
yeah,
said something about that we can't change what's there. We have to bring a
beautiful.
new reality to it, and that's what you're saying. You are a maestro among maestros, my
Thank you.
dear, and I'm
Thank
just so
you.
thrilled to have you in our Living in Hearts and a Gratitude group, and
Oh, thank
also
you.
out in the world doing the work that you're doing. So
Thank you very much for inviting me to do this with you. I absolutely love you and I'm thrilled.
thank you, Sarah. We'll be in touch, and and to all our members. Please listen to this maybe a couple of times, as she's a wealth of wisdom. And all
Thank
right,
you.
bye for now.